Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on a game between Flash, KTF.Flash and Samsung Khan Odin, and this matchup is being played on Shin Peaks of Bikedu, which is a relatively old school map. It's been around for a little while now, and it's a pretty good map. It's a pretty balanced map. And KTF.Flash we all know about. He is the new wonder kid, the hottest guy on the block. I'm sure if you've been watching my commentaries or if you've been watching any Starcraft VODs at all, you'll be more than aware of who KTF.Flash is and exactly what he is capable of. He's added a lot of prominent big-name players to his kill list recently. He defeated I Love Uubi as well as Pusan. He took Boxer to a very late game on Python where he played a brilliant matchup, though unfortunately he lost. He did get completely destroyed by Savior, but that's neither here nor there because most people get completely destroyed by Savior. Nevertheless, he's doing really well. He's rumored to be the Royal Roader, provided he doesn't have to face Savior or can get past Savior. He has gotten through his OSL group by defeating Uuvi in a fantastic game on Monty Hall where he displayed some silky micro and responded really well under pressure. And from watching his game so far, there's a lot I've learned about Flash. What I've learned is that he is a very solid macro player. He has excellent early game management skills. He is also quite good at microing his units. In terms of weaknesses, the only weakness I would say is that he still does not have that level of experience that some of the other pro gamers have, and in that respect, as the game drags on longer, some of his decision making can start to become a little bit suspect, as we saw in his lack of focus, lack of concentration, allowing Boxer to kill his dropships, allowing Boxer back into that game that he was actually ahead and winning on. But nevertheless, Flash does have one thing that I have noticed that is a hallmark of many great pro gamers, is that his ability to withstand pressure. He seems to be able to come back from the brink and do very well in difficult situations, as he demonstrated on that game on Monty Hall. He also has a lot of audacity. He also has a lot of courage, which he demonstrated in the game, in his last game in the Pro League versus Luxury from OnGameNet Sparkies, where he did a very Boxer-esque SCV rush, SCV and Marine rush against Luxury and actually managed to pull it off. So not only has he got the solid gameplay, he can also cheese. He has a full repertoire in his gaming arsenal, in his Starcraft arsenal, of the strategies that he can not only go for, but that he can actually execute and pull off successfully. Odin, on the other hand, is a relatively unknown player, and he is, though he has been appearing more and more regularly for Samsung Khan in the Pro League, unfortunately for Odin, he did lose his last matchup versus Free GM on Python, and that was a big blow for him, losing that match against Flash. And Flash looks like he's going for the 1 barracks into Command Center here. Flash is bringing his SCV out, so Flash has gone for the 1 barracks into Command Center. I guess he scouted Odin and he realizes that Odin doesn't have a lot. Odin's gone for that fast expand as well, and he's seen that Odin's got for the 3 hatchery build. So Flash adapting his gameplay to his opponents, and that's another key aspect of a good player, is adaptability. In the match versus Luxury, we saw that when he saw the 3 hatch build, he went for a rush. On this occasion, he's not going for a rush because obviously he feels that the opponent would have time to scout it, and also the fact that Luxury went for his spawning pool fairly early, which would mean that a sort of rush would be suicidal, and Flash's response to that is to set up his command center after his barracks. And I'm sure he made that decision once he saw that Odin went for the 3rd hatchery. This map is a fairly balanced matchup. It's fairly even between Terran and Zerg players. Odin should not be underestimated. He has been doing well for Samsung Khan, and this is a clutch game. This is a vital game because you can tell that the score is 2-1 to KTF, and should Flash win this game, that will be the end of the matchup for Samsung Khan. And Samsung Khan have recently been shown to be human after that defeat 3-0 to Hanbit. Up until then, Samsung were on a long winning streak and they had gone undefeated for at least 10 matches. But after that defeat from Hanbit, Samsung Khan have been shown to be vulnerable again, to be human again. And personally, I feel that winning streak was unjustified. I feel it was lucky. They do have a lot of good players, but essentially that winning streak was on the back of 2 players who are very hot right now, namely Stork and Firebat Hero. And in the matchup that they lost to Hanbit, neither of those players really got a chance to play, and they lost. So unfortunately, they can't keep relying on the same players all the time, otherwise they're going to end up like Pantech X relying on Nara all the time. And Stork and Firebat Hero have their own preparations to do with Firebat hero being in the OSL and Stork being in the MSL. And Odin has just managed to sneak his Zerglings up that ramp there. Flash, I think, moved a few Marines away. Flash moved his Marines away, and that allowed Odin to get up the ramp because there was a single Marine there. And Odin has just done a little bit of damage to Flash. He's managed to take down that barracks, which is going to slow Flash down a little bit. And if he can take down this SCV, he's going to stop Flash from building that academy. But Flash manages to finish the academy just before the Zerglings got to the SCV, so Flash does have that academy up. I don't think that incursion is going to do too much damage. He hasn't really hurt Flash's economy. He has been able to get in with those Zerglings, so he knows exactly what Flash is building, and that information is going to prove valuable to him. And Flash is going for all out barracks here. Flash trying to perhaps make up for the fact that barracks, the second barracks he was building was slowed down. He's actually gone for his third barracks, and Odin continues to pump Zerglings, so it looks like we're going to settle in for a fairly longish game here. I'm not sure how many sunken colonies Odin has should Flash be able to push ahead with that medic and marine group. Flash does have that medic out because he was able to get that academy up, and I'm still not sure how many sunkens have. If Odin does not have any sunkens, he might find himself a little bit of trouble. Odin has no sunkens at all. Odin has already got his lair complete though, and he's starting his spire, so Odin should, but the problem is that this is a point where Zerg players often find themselves vulnerable, where they start the spire, and this is usually where the Terran players rush out with their medics and marines. And Odin has just positioned his Zerglings to the side of Flash's base, so I guess he's anticipating when Flash does go for that push down the center of the map towards his base, he's going to try and sneak those Zerglings in. So with those Zerglings, he can either try and sneak in if Flash tries to push out, alternatively he's going to keep Flash pinned back and stop him from coming out and attacking his base, therefore negating the need for him to build sunkens. And what that is going to mean for Odin is that he's going to be able to get that Mutalisk spire up and get that spire up and get those Mutalisks out in relative safety. And Odin finally building a creep colony, so he is going to build a sunken. But the fact that he's got those Zerglings there is going to prove troublesome for Flash. And Odin once again moving with the Zerglings, anticipating that Flash had gone towards his main, but Flash was again forced to pull his troops back. So Odin doing a great job of keeping Flash back in his base, using that flanking technique to prevent Flash from pushing out and pressuring him. Once again, often Terran players like to push out with the medic and marine force and pressure the Zerg into building few sunkens. Odin is building a couple of sunkens now though, because Flash does have enough. Once he has a couple of Firebats, he can easily hold that ramp against any number of Zerglings because of the nature of Firebats and their AoE attack. And Odin though does have a couple of sunkens, so I do feel he should be able to hold. And his spire is up, so he's going to have Mutalisks out very soon. So he has managed to delay Flash long enough that he's going to have his Mutalisks up, and therefore Flash is not going to be able to mount an effective push on Odin's main. So therefore you would have to give Odin a little bit of an advantage thus far. He is doing a great job of controlling the game, and he's got his first group of Mutalisks out, and we're going to see how effective he is at harassing with Mutalisks. Flash doesn't have a lot of defense. Flash is starting to build turrets in his base now, but he doesn't have a lot of... Okay, he does have about 4 turrets at his natural, so he should be able to defend quite well against those Mutalisks. And Flash is just moving those medic and marines wandering around in the middle of the map, and Flash has got a group of marines by themselves, not supported by the medics. Those medics and marine group got split up, and Odin moves in, taking advantage of the opportunity, and he's just taken out that medic and marine group, and that's very bad for Flash, because Flash is going to find himself at a serious disadvantage now. He's not going to be able to pressure, and you can see the camera zooming in on Odin, and because Odin was able to take out that medic and marine group, that's allowed him to put an expansion down at the 5 o'clock position. Thankfully for Flash though, he does have those engineering turrets, and I don't think Odin has a lot of Zerglings to support those engineering bay turrets. Odin does not have a lot of Zerglings to support those Mutalisks, so therefore Flash should be able to defend this attack relatively easily. And once again Odin showing some excellent Mutalisk micro. He just picked off three marines there, and Odin going for that turret, but he actually does not manage to kill the turret. That was a little bit poor by Odin. One more shot would have finished it. He actually went in and didn't take the shot, so Flash is going to be able to repair that turret, and therefore Odin has not done any damage to Flash's economy, so that's bad for Odin. He didn't do any damage to Flash's economy on that main, but I think Odin will be more than content to keep Flash pinned back on his main. We have to know that the Flash does have quite a few barracks up, and therefore he's going to be pumping those marines at quite a speed, and considering that he went for that early expansion, it means that his economy is fairly strong as well, so he won't mind being pinned back a little bit while he builds up his medic and marine forces. He's not going to mind losing a few medic and marines to harass. Odin once again picks off another turret of Flash's, and picks off the SCV that was building the factory, so all this is going to slow Flash down. It's important for Odin to try and slow Flash down as much as possible, which I do know that unfortunately Odin has failed to do. Flash's economy is flourishing. He is still pumping out SCVs non-stop from both of his command centers, and he has a ton of SCVs mining those minerals right now. So Flash is really going for a very heavy macro here despite having only a single expansion. He probably has more SCVs in those 2 expansions than Odin has drones in all 3 of his bases, and I would really love to actually be able to count the number of drones Odin has and compare them to the number of SCVs Flash has. Unfortunately I can't do that on a VOD. But Flash moving out yet again with his medic and reinforce. I guess he feels he has enough in order to be able to push out, but Odin's got lurkers there, and Flash again showing a little bit of inexperience. His forces spread out, his marines spread out on the map, and therefore Odin was able to pick out a group of 3 marines and a medic, and that was very poor by Flash, allowing Odin to do that. But nevertheless, I don't think Flash will mind that too much. His economy is booming, so he's able to produce from a number of barracks, and he's actually putting up his 6th and 7th barracks right now. He's also got that factory up, and he's building a starport.